Hey, excuse me, boss. I have a quick question. You want some beef or what? Chill out, bro.
Stop playing with me, nigga. Stop playing with me.
Hey, bro, back up, bro.
Can I ask you a question?
Back up, bro.
Fuck Rite Aid, CVS.
Just bought $1 billion.
Clout is a disease, or at the very least, it should be classified as some sort of mental illness. Now, unless you've been like Patrick Star, cooling under a rock for the last 10 years, you should know what clout is. But for the sake of discussion, clout can be defined as imaginary popularity points that you gain on the internet and in real life. And there are literally a million examples that I could point to demonstrate my point of this shit being a form of social cancer. The easiest of which would probably be 6ix9ine, who posted up on O-Block at like 3 a.m. when no one's alive or around to kill him and get you niggas going crazy in the comment section on some, oh, 6ix9ine's a demon, Dirk will never slide. Yeah, shut the hell up, you know exactly who you are, don't front. More recent example will probably be the period girl on TikTok, who would record herself saying a whole bunch of random shit. And then pretend that she has like autism or Down syndrome or something. I do not know. But what I do know is that while these two examples are very different, they both share one key factor, and that factor just so happens to be problem number 1 when it comes to the mental illness called clout.
Huh? I got you here now.
If someone has clout, they can basically convince you niggas of anything. If that's not frightening, it's at least mildly concerning how much someone's popularity or social status can convince you or sway your opinion of something. Like, bruh, you got all these rappers trying to convince you that they're killers when they all snitch. Like, you're gonna tell me that all of you have caught a body? That don't sound a little fishy to you? You got all these dudes posted up with leased cars and fake chains because they want to give the appearance of being a high value man or whatever the f y'all call yourselves these days. Back in my day, we used to call them incels. Now we stop. And then, of course, you got all these IG models with fake followers trying to convince you that they're popping so you can subscribe to their OnlyFans. Bro, what? Like, I promise, it's all types of screwed up right now. But this is only the beginning, so, yeah. Clout has become such an important part of our society that people seem to forget that there is something actually
mentally wrong with the brains of people that do things solely for the purpose of seeking clout.
Like, you start to wonder some of the lengths some of these people go to just for a little bit of fame. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you end up when niggas recording themselves stealing shit and calling it a devious lick. And realistically, this shit would not matter if it didn't work. The problem is that clout chasing is actually encouraged by society.
Come on, y'all! Y'all gotta push through! Keep those cameras up, you record! Keep those cameras up!
Majority of the time, there are a lot of positives that outweigh all the negative BS that usually comes with clout chasing. And even if people hate you, they still post about you anyway. So inevitably, there's no incentive to not clout chase, and that so happens to be problem number 2. If the ends justify the means and you're gonna get the results you want anyway, then why stop? People are gonna hate you, but you're famous, so it don't matter. Eventually, you can just go on a PR campaign and clean up your image, and eventually some dumb ass somewhere is gonna defend you to the very last breath. Plus, it's not like clout chasing is illegal. Most of the time anyway. So if the feds aren't after you, you might as well keep going, right? Wrong. And that is where problem number 3 comes in. And problem number 3 just so happens to be the fact that people will do anything for clout. I'm looking at you fake ass TikTok psychics spreading blatant lies about a murder case.
A TikToker doubles down on her claims that a college professor is the real killer in the University of Idaho murder case.
Like, you got shorty just straight up spreading misinformation on the internet and y'all applauding her all up in her DMs like this is a crime drama. Like, bro, she's not a detective. This ain't Scooby-Doo. This is real life. Reality is that she's a crazy ass woman. But because y'all blew her up, she felt justified in her stupidity and clout demon antics. So I never thought I'd ever have to quote the Migos for anything in my life, but
they do anything for clout.
Yes, sir. And this leads me to my next point. Exhibit 4. Having clout empowers people to have an ego.
You know who I am?
Who are you then?
I am my politics. My uncle's very famous.
Oftentimes, an overinflated sense of self-importance is followed by gaining a lot of money, fame, influence, followers, and this can commonly be referred to as switching up. I don't inherently believe that there is anything wrong with being a fan of someone, but y'all worship these clowns to the point where they feel like they're Jesus Christ reincarnated in the flesh. And they are not God. I hope they know that, because someone's gonna tell them and it ain't gonna be you. But a prime example of this would be DJ Academics.
Big Academics here now!
DJ Academics has one of the craziest egos I have ever seen in my entire life on the internet. And I will give him some credit because he did work his way into his industry as an outsider looking in, but that is as far as the respect factor goes when it comes to me. DJ Academics is basically Team Z for niggas. And normally that title would fall into BET, but BET is dog shit. And all this dude does is report on drama, bro, but he presents himself like he's some type of untouchable boss with a holier-than-thou attitude, bro. There have been so many instances in which rappers have bitched him publicly.
Drill was so hyped up by everyone. I had to give a different perspective. The content was not just negative.
It was just negative, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. I really think you're a bitch.
I don't understand why he acts the way he does. And off the top of my head, I could think of a couple times in which this man's ego got in the way to the point of him going off the rails. The first would probably be him being on the Fresh and Fit podcast and loudly declaring,
Big Ack is in the building.
And then the second one would probably be when he went on a drunken rant and got himself banned off Twitch for firing at John Legend and Chrissy Teigen.
I'll son you, your mama, your daddy, your son, your daughter, everybody.
Listen, I don't know a single soul that has beef with John Legend, so that's honestly crazy to me. And academics never used to try to be that guy. Like, Joe Budden used to stun this man relentlessly, and then eventually Clout swallowed academics up. Pause. And eventually the point has to be made that y'all only like Clout when it benefits whatever agenda you're trying to push. The second things get too big, you go out there and try to cancel him. It's just how it is. Perfect example of this would be Kai Cenat. Now, Kai recently became the #1 streamer on Twitch, and shout out to him, he deserves it. Congratulations. Shortly after said milestone, one of Kai's associates committed some type of heinous crime that Kai inevitably got blamed for, even though he had nothing to do with it per se. And y'all turned your back on him, and instead of calling him a champion of the people and a social icon, you try to derail his career.
Nice.
A more lighthearted example of this would be the death of ChatGPT. My nigga, I did not even get a chance to use this shit because y'all snitched and posted about it on TikTok so much to the point where universities caught wind and banned it from any assignments we might use it on. So thanks. Bro, we had a free ride, but no, everybody wanted to be a part of the wave and get some clout off ChatGPT. Regarding waves, here's a pro tip for life. You're very likely to ride the wave that you inevitably get washed in. Don't let that go over your head. After listening to me rant and ramble for like 5+ minutes, you're probably wondering, why do you care? I'm saying all of this as a rapper. I'm supposed to be seeking clout. The profession I want to place myself in is predicated on seeking clout. And that just so happens to be because clout is worth more than talent these days, but that is a discussion for another day. Stay woke. I've had so many people tell me, oh, if you just engage in this clout chasing activity, you'll get some fame. And you know, the sad thing is they're right. I have morals, which means I lose at life. I actively avoid things that will make me famous because I know they're wrong. Here's another life tip, and I am dropping gems, so you might as well listen. There is a right and a wrong way to go about doing something. The more you stray down the wrong path, the easier it is to justify when you do the wrong thing, but it ends up getting results. That is a slippery slope, and clout is one of those things.
Don't need a gang, I got my squad and that's just all I need. Born kingdoms, it's a conquest, claim everything we see. Never been the type to say the ends justify the means. This time around, I don't care how my goals are achieved. One in the chamber and that one is pointed at your mind. I went to attack cause I'm a 10, it ain't no fucking 9. Lay you down.